Sometimes it's the little things. Am I right? Here are 9 small but very mighty piano teacher hacks for your studio. Hack number 1, sticky blockers. You're going to get post-its, small post-its, and lay them out over certain bars or measures in your student's piece. The purpose is to block out all the stuff that you don't want them to practice. So if you've ever asked your student to practice the trickiest part of the piece for 1 week before they start from the beginning, and then they've come back and actually they're just starting from the beginning anyway, this will help you. So you put post-its over all the other parts of the piece and you leave the part clear that you want your student to actually practice. And then if they come back, and I tell my students this, if they come back and they have moved the post-its, that's absolutely fine, but they better be awesome at playing that tricky part before those post-its get moved. So I'm expecting that to be really solid if they've come back and they've moved them to reveal more of their piece. Repetition evidence. This is when I started only a couple of years ago. I realized that some students just really didn't get that practice meant playing their piece more than once. I know it might sound obvious to us, but it wasn't obvious to them. And so what I did was I got really small stickers, like ones that are a 1/4 of an inch diameter kind of size, like 5 millimeters around. And I gave them a sheet of these stickers. And their job was to go home. I didn't say anything about repetitions. I just said, at home, when you practice, I want you to put 1 sticker on this piece every time you play it. These are beginners, so their practice really is just playing their piece from start to finish. And lo and behold, they would come back next week and they'd have 5 stickers on there. And it's because these students and their parents were really good about practicing every day. Like they had heeded our advice and they were doing it. But when they were doing it, it was only lasting a few minutes because they're playing each of their tiny little pieces 1 time. So this opens up a conversation about how many stickers we're expecting to see on that page. This is incredibly simple and one you might already do, but just in case, this one is to get little sticky tabs and put them on all pieces that your student is doing. So when they go to practice or when they come to the lesson, you can automatically flip to the page of the piece you're practicing without any fussing with page numbers. A side note to this is that I actually reuse these tabs many times. So I'll take them off a student's music and put them on a new piece we're working on. Or if I don't have somewhere to put them in that student's book and I'm taking one off because we're finished working on a piece, I just stick them on my bookshelves, which is right off screen right here, so that I grab them and I reuse them so that I'm not using up so much plastic. Erasable vibrants. Erasable colored pencils are the most wonderful modern invention ever, along with erasable highlighters. So we can write all over my students' music, we can draw pictures, we can do all sorts of goofy things. And then if it feels like it's too cluttered or we're going to play it for a recital and we don't want the audience to see all our beautiful pictures, we can easily rub them out. Beat the clock. If you've ever been working with a student on some skill or other, naming notes, naming intervals, playing the correct keys, really anything, and I mean anything, if you've ever been working with a student on that and you feel like you're just kind of pushing them through the motions and it's getting a bit dry, introduce a timer. Tell them that they need to do as many of that thing in 1 minute and then see if they can do more in the next minute. It will make it feel like a game by magic. Video assistant. If you ever want to correct your student about something, especially a technique thing, but also really anything, try recording a video of them and playing it back to them right there and then. So you can record on your iPad or your phone and just pop it up on the stand and ask them to watch it back and tell you if there's anything they want to improve. A lot of students switch off their ears when they're playing, or they don't pay that much attention, or they're just waiting for us to fix it. And so this allows them to fix it themselves, to critique themselves. It's also good for students who don't take corrections very well, especially when we're new to working with them. This allows them to self-correct in a way that isn't us saying, you're wrong about this thing. Groove signatures. Teach time signatures with dance moves. You can make up the dance moves, you can do simple side steps, it really doesn't matter what it is, but just getting up and moving in a specific choreographed way, simple choreographed way, will help your students understand why 3/4 is different to 4/4 and why it matters that we play it correctly. Steve the Stickler. This is my version of this, but you can make up your own name and your own character based on any toy that you have on hand. Another teacher who works here has Manus the monkey as hers. So Steve the Stickler is my assistant. He is my technique assistant, and I use him for correcting particularly beginners, but really anyone because they've experienced him at the beginning. I use him for correcting technique. So instead of saying, oh, remember to sit up tall or lift your wrists off the... Does anyone else hate that when the wrists droop down? I have Steve go and help me, and he just goes and nudges at something gently, or he goes and sits on a shoulder or something like that. And it's a little bit goofy and makes it all more lighthearted. Super slow-mo. That's it, that's the trick. If you're trying to get your student to go slower, try saying super slow-mo and saying it in super slow-mo. They will immediately get what you're going for and be way more likely to do what you're asking them to do. Let me know which one of these you already do, and maybe if one of them was new to you in the comments. And if you want more piano teaching ideas, watch this video next.